Hey Mama Leaf, I want to thank you for making a response video to my question, and I want to make a response video to your question in your comments, and just talking about this whole topic that is very important to me, domestic violence awareness. But first of all, I'd like to make a disclaimer for you and for everyone else who watches my content. When I say I like a person or I stand with a person, I would love for it to be known that I do not completely agree with everything that that person stands for, believes in, their platform, their politics, their religion. You have it, whatever it is. Like with my own husband, I don't even agree with everything that he supports or stands in or believes in or what have you. Nor my parents, nor my siblings, nor my friends, nor even God, Jesus Christ himself. So I just want to put that out there because I know as we're talking about Stefan Molyneux, this is a big part of this conversation. There are things that I do not completely agree with him either. So I just really needed to get that out there. So Mama Leaf, I don't know if you ever saw the 20 video saga series that I made about my first husband. This was a few years ago. I don't believe so. And it's okay. That's back when TikTok only allowed you to make 1-minute videos. That was the longest duration of time. So, and maybe they're floating out there somewhere, I don't know. And sometimes it still comes up, and it's so, I don't even know. It's complicated, it's heavy because there's a lot of haters on here that say that I was the abusive one, that I was the toxic one, that because in the divorce papers, since it was on mutual terms, essentially, my first husband divorced me, and it says in there because it's on public records, like the fact that there are public records of things about all of us out there that we have never consented to or agreed upon is beyond me. But it's, he claims that I made it intolerable for him and unlivable, and I was the one at fault, which I'm like, if you and I know that when an abuser says these things, there's going to be people that are going to take their side or our side. And I'm out here saying, like, you know what? People can take his side, they can take my side, no side, it doesn't matter. We lived what really went down. So we're not out here to prove like, oh my gosh, listen to me, because there are those that believe us and that there are those that don't. So yeah, so sometimes I still talk about it, so I don't know what you know of my own story. And I want to say that I am so sorry for what you have gone through, what your mom has gone through, and for the countless women that go through DV. It's a nightmare of nightmares and a horror of horrors that shouldn't be, that should not be. The first tattoo that I ever got is this one right here. It says, "Love shouldn't hurt," and they are purple ribbons. Yes, it's always mistaken for some cancer awareness thing, which sometimes I don't even have the heart to tell people and correct them, like, it's actually for, domestic violence awareness. But this is for my own story, and this is for the countless women out there, and even men, that go through DV. Okay, so Mama Leaf, you did ask me to watch this video from a podcaster, I don't remember his name, getting clips of Stefan Molyneux and his thoughts, his, I guess, belief about victims and the abusers. Okay, so I listened to it all the way through. I had to do it in different increments, different takes, because I don't always have time to listen to one thing at a time, being a busy mama. So part of me is like, I agree and I disagree with him, because, and I thought that podcaster was taking it out of context, because of course he's slamming Stefan, and so is the other guy. And I'm like, wait, everyone, let's think about this. Let's talk about this, okay? So, I don't know, Mama Leaf, if this is something that you can agree to or not, but wouldn't you say that broken people get with broken people, and healed people get with healed people? I was broken. I was not in a good place. And if I would have known everything I do now about abusers, oh my gosh, I would have never made that mistake. But we live and we learn, right? So anyway, back to Stefan. He's saying that, because of all this chaos, because of all these problems, because of all this evil in the world, if men just wouldn't, yeah, he uses some very foul language. When Stefan does that, oh, I can't handle it when anyone does. But he's saying like that's part of this problem is, you know, women are continuing the abusive cycles. They're not saying no. They are not, you know, removing themselves. They are not getting out of them. And when I say I believe that we victims play a part in abusive relationships and abuse that keeps continuing everywhere, it's like it should be lessening, but it's not. Maybe it's just getting worse and worse. It's because, and I know this gets really complicated, but it's because we have the low self-esteem. We are in this really low place in our lives, and if we weren't, I don't think we would have chosen that person. Just getting a little bit into my story. I'm thinking of back when, okay, so, you know, my mom would say, you know, everyone has a sin issue, right? Everyone has a problem, and some people's sin issue, their problem is anger. So for me, when I learned that my first husband's, one of his, you know, big deals, one of his issues that he struggled with is anger, you know, was anger, I was like, oh, well, you know, we all have a struggle issue, right? And for him, there actually were red flags. My family saw them. There were some scary things in the beginning. But I just was thinking like, well, it's not, it's his issue. It's just his problem, right? And the things that went down in my marriage, I didn't see that in the beginning. There were other things that I should have been like, oh, wait a minute, this isn't a normal guy. This isn't a healthy guy. And all my family hated him. Like, I'm not close to a lot of my family anymore. And even back then, I'm not sure how close I was. I don't know. So when you were stating that, you know, it is true in a lot of relationships, how it begins is they love bomb us, right? They are just showering us with all these beautiful words and compliments. And there's actually another guy that I went on a couple dates with. Yeah, this was way long ago, before my first husband. And I think that, and this is what I think we need to take note of, is a red flag. When a guy, even a girl, but especially the guys, when they are just, you know, all that love bombing, when they are just giving us so many compliments, and like it's just so extra, extra, extra. Normal guys don't do that. Normal, healthy relationship guys do not do that. And I've always realized, or I've always said this, coming out of my first marriage, that in an abusive relationship, when the guy or the girl, but when the guy is like super abusive, like it's like 10 times versus when, like, say a healthy guy is like, you know, a little bit upset or, you know, having a bad mood or something. And then when the abusive guy is showing you like this really amazing knight in shining armor side, it's 10 times magnified than what a normal guy would be. So sorry, I didn't mean for this to go on forever, but I guess what I wanted to bring to this is, I feel like we women are in part to blame, because when we do see the monsters that these abusers are, we have a choice to get out of that relationship. And there is that video on the Netflix series, The Maid. You know, that's an example of, she didn't have anything. She literally had to start over all fresh, and she didn't even get the physical violence yet, but it was threatening, you know. And that was my story too. Like, I never actually got the physical harm. There were the threats. And I feel like it was just starting before, like it was about to begin once I got out. Anyway, so I guess this is just to say that when we see the things that are escalating and getting as bad as they are, like, we have a choice to stay or leave. And even though it's going to be financially like impossible, it seems like we have to start over and you literally have to run for your life, I think if women really want to, they will. And there's definitely examples of that. So I'm super grateful that the area that you're in is working with a safe house. And yeah, I can only imagine. And some of the groups that I've gone to, it's everywhere. Everyone's story is different. Some are less, some are more, but they're all valid in, you know, what has happened to all of us. And if we women could just realize that we don't deserve this, and when you do whatever you do because you don't want your children to end up in the same abusive relationship that you were in, if that makes sense. So I mostly blame the men for sure, but I think we just have a little part in it too, and we could be doing so much better. So I hope that helps. Okay, thank you, bye.